think you are.
The Good Doctor on ABC.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to start another week with all of you at home. And as we begin tonight with a major hurricane now speeding up and growing in strength, word of mandatory evacuations just issued moments ago. Hurricane Michael is right now racing across the warm waters of the Gulf. It's expected to strengthen over the next 24 to 36 hours and could be a Category 3 hurricane as it nears the coast. And unlike Hurricane Florence, this is coming quickly. You can see the traffic already tonight. These images from Panama City, Florida. Families getting out, aware of how big this could be and how quickly it will be here. The outer bands of wind and rain already being felt in parts of Florida. Tonight, there are states of emergency in effect. Several states watching this. Ginger has the new track just in, and ABC's Victor Oquendo in Apalachicola, Florida tonight.
Tonight, winds from Hurricane Michael already blowing in Mexico as the rapidly intensifying storm makes its way into the warm waters of the Gulf on a collision course with the U.S. coastline. Some coastal flooding already along Alabama's beaches. Michael's outer bands reaching Key West.
Every family must be prepared. Every family. Remember, we can rebuild your house, but we cannot rebuild your life.
Drivers headed out of Panama City Beach tonight. Tomorrow, these evacuations will be mandatory. There are long lines for gas in Tallahassee, and sandbagging is in full force. To the south in Carabel, we met Cole Luza stocking up.
We weren't nervous last night when we went to bed, and then we woke up this morning and all of a sudden it was at first a Category 2, and now it's looking like it's going to be worse than that. So we're a little nervous.
Some cruise ships altering their routes to avoid the storm. Also offshore, oil and natural gas platforms are shutting down and evacuating workers.
And Victor Oquendo with us live tonight from Florida. And Victor, we know the winds are a real concern with this. The storm surge, though, a major concern as well. And you were telling us there could be a 12-foot surge right where you are.
That's right, David. Potentially life-threatening storm surge about twice my height. And just to give you an idea, this gazebo behind me would almost entirely be underwater. If you add a foot of rain and some very powerful winds, this area could be without electricity or water for days, maybe even weeks after landfall. We should be feeling the first of those tropical storm force winds tomorrow night. David?
Victor Oquendo leading us off tonight. Victor, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee. The next 24 hours, of course, will be crucial with the track of this thing.
It is, and we have to watch. It's right already in the Gulf of Mexico. So as you said, David, it is coming fast. It's moving north at 9 miles per hour. You have that Florida panhandle that has the bulk of the action happening. So from the Alabama state line to Swanee River, Florida, that's where the hurricane warning. But the impacts will be felt well beyond that. That's why from Biloxi to Tampa, you've got watches and warnings up. Now, the cone itself, where the most will happen, takes it tracking over Panama City Beach Wednesday afternoon. The right side, or the dirty side, is where you could end up seeing some of the heftiest winds. So even inland to Tallahassee, you could see some roofs pulled. You could have, of course, power lines and trees down. And then that surge in the Big Bend. Very vulnerable spot, the rainfall up to a foot. And this will actually move. Oh, look at Raleigh. Areas that don't need all that rain, 4 to 6 inches of rain. What this storm has is a steering factor. That's what Florence didn't have. It will help kick it out by Friday.
It'll move quickly, but it's going to bring a lot of damage with it.
Correct.
Ginger, thanks so much. In the meantime, we do move on this Monday night to that horrific crash in upstate New York. A deadly limousine disaster. 20 people were killed. Friends and family were celebrating a 30th birthday. The stretch limousine they were in, plowing through a stop sign, hitting another car and hitting 2 pedestrians, killing them before landing in a ditch. Among the dead, the woman celebrating her birthday, Amy Steenberg, there at the top with her 3 sisters. All of them were killed, along with those family and friends. Tonight here, what we've just learned about the driver of the limo and about the limo itself. It had just failed an inspection and should not have been on the road. ABC senior transportation correspondent David Curley on the scene in Schoharie, New York tonight.
Tonight, investigators of this accident that took 20 lives are concentrating on the limousine, the driver, and the small company called Prestige.
The owner of the company had no business putting a failed vehicle on the road. The owner of Prestige has a lot of questions to answer.
The governor revealing the driver was not properly licensed. The limo failed inspection just a month ago, and the company has been told to cease operations for now. The 2001 stretched Ford Excursion blew through a stop sign at a T intersection. Impacting with such force, the engine block ended up in the driver's compartment with no signs of skid marks. Considering the impact and the speed limit, it seems obvious this vehicle was speeding.
Well, I can't argue with that, but I can't agree with it either because we don't have the actual evidence for that. But I can tell you this was a high-energy crash.
The NTSB chair pointing out that this is the deadliest transportation accident since the Colgan Air crash in 2009. It was to be a Saturday afternoon 30th birthday celebration for the youngest of four sisters, Amy Steenberg, who had just been married.
You have showed me what true love is. I dream of us growing old and traveling the world hand by hand. I love you always.
And just 3 days earlier, Amy again professing her love for her husband on Facebook. I love you more than words can say. All four sisters, along with 3 of their husbands, killed. According to the family, the group of 17 rented transportation to visit a brewery and other stops safely. Friends coming along, including Amanda Halsey.
I'm empty. It's an indescribable pain. I have no words for it. Never felt a pain like this ever in my life.
Most extended limos like the one in this incident are not made by car companies. They are regular vehicles which are stretched, like the one in a 2015 Long Island crash which killed 4 women. In this rural area outside of Albany, a community struck by the horror. The 18 in the limo, 2 pedestrians all lost, and 1 family hit so hard.
I had 4 nieces. They're all dead. They were in there.
And David Curley joins us from the scene of the deadly crash. And David, so important to point out, as you just reported there, that these limos don't come off the line this way. They're retrofitted after. And late today, you reported that officials now say they did recover a key part of the vehicle that they called the black box, hoping that'll provide crucial answers here.
They're hoping it's the airbag control module. It could say what happened in the last couple of seconds, even milliseconds, maybe answering some of those questions. And as for the driver, some of his blood will be sent to a special lab in Oklahoma for a toxicology report. David?
Just an awful story. David Curley, our thanks to you. We do have one more note on this tonight. What we've learned about the owner of the company. You're about to see undercover video here tonight of the owner acting as an FBI informant to avoid prosecution himself for something else. ABC's Ariel Reshef on the scene with that part of the story tonight.
This surveillance video showing an undercover sting operation to thwart a terror attack on a Bronx synagogue in 2009. The twist tonight, the man on the right, an FBI informant. ABC News learning he's Shahid Hussein, the owner of Prestige Limousine, the company that owned the limo in the deadly crash. Hussein agreeing to cooperate with the government after being arrested for helping immigrants cheat on driver's tests while he worked for the DMV. Hussein avoiding a fraud charge and possible deportation to Pakistan. He went on to open Prestige Limousine, currently based in Albany, for a time running the business out of a back room of this low-budget hotel. The company has a checkered safety record. In 5 safety inspections over the last 2 years, 4 vehicles were put out of service, 4 times the national average. Right now, Hussein is out of the country.
He faces criminal charges.
That'll be part of our investigation. We'll determine if there's any criminal culpability on the part of anyone. If there is, we'll hold them accountable for it.
And Ariel's with us live tonight as well. And Ariel, authorities say they have made contact with the owner of this company now overseas. And what is this company saying tonight?
Well, David, the company says they are cooperating with investigators, but they are not commenting on Hussein's past or on their previous violations. David?
Ariel Reshef with us tonight from upstate New York. Ariel, thank you. At the White House tonight, a ceremonial swearing in for new Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. President Trump calling the battle over his nomination all part of a Democratic hoax. And the president is now predicting it will now help the Republicans in the midterm elections. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl tonight.
As he celebrates Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation victory, President Trump is lashing out at Democrats who opposed him.
It was a disgraceful situation brought about by people that are evil, and he toughed it out. We all toughed it out together.
Kavanaugh was confirmed by the narrowest margin for a Supreme Court justice in over 130 years. Protests going on in the Senate chamber, even as Vice President Pence presided over the final vote.
The Sergeant-at-Arms will restore order in the gallery.
As Kavanaugh was sworn in that evening by Chief Justice John Roberts, two of the court's staunch liberals were there to witness. Justices Elena Kagan and Ruth Bader Ginsburg joining Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas for the ceremony. Deep divisions remain. Republican Susan Collins, whose vote proved decisive, told 60 Minutes that she now has a security detail because of threats she's received. And while she believes Christine Blasey Ford is a victim of sexual assault, she says she's also convinced Kavanaugh was not her attacker.
She was clearly terrified, traumatized, and I believed that a sexual assault had happened to her. What I think she's mistaken about is who the perpetrator was. I do not believe her assailant was Brett Kavanaugh.
North Dakota Democrat Heidi Heitkamp, representing a state where President Trump is popular, is poised to pay a political price for voting no. But she says it was a matter of conscience.
Do I have work that I want to continue to do? Absolutely. Do I want to compromise my principles and my conscience for that job? No. And do I want to compromise the Supreme Court for that job? No.
President Trump predicts the confirmation battle will help Republicans in the midterm elections and insists that if Democrats win, they will try to impeach Kavanaugh and throw him off the court.
Now they're thinking about impeaching a brilliant jurist, a man that did nothing wrong, a man that was caught up in a hoax that was set up by the Democrats.
So let's get to John Karl live at the White House tonight. And John, President Trump was joined on Air Force One today by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Everyone at home likely remembers Rosenstein's fate had been uncertain after the New York Times first reported that he once allegedly wanted to secretly record the president, even reportedly discussed potentially removing him through the 25th Amendment. What are you learning, John, about their conversation today?
Well, we're told that the two men spoke for about 45 minutes aboard Air Force One. Unclear how much they discussed those reports or the Russia probe, which Rosenstein oversees. But the bottom line is this, David. After the meeting, Rosenstein was not fired. In fact, the president said he plans on making no changes. And when asked about the conversation, he said, quote, "We had a really good talk. We actually get along." David?
John Karl, starting another week at the White House for us. Thank you, John. There is a dire new warning about climate change tonight from a Nobel Prize-winning panel of scientists at the United Nations. Their report found that time is running out, they say, before climate change effects are, quote, irreversible. By 2030, in just 12 years, the Earth's temperature, they say, could be 1 degree warmer than today, at which point the negative impacts could be unstoppable. To avoid that, the report says countries must make, quote, unprecedented changes to cut carbon emissions. There's also a new headline tonight about former Olympic star Bode Miller, his wife Morgan, giving birth to their son nearly 4 months after their 19-month-old daughter drowned in a neighbor's swimming pool. The couple at the time sharing their heartbreak, hoping to warn other parents about potential drowning dangers for children. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis tonight.
A new beginning for former Olympic skier Bode Miller and his wife Morgan as they welcome a baby boy to the family. This photo, shared by their midwife, who helped deliver the baby at home. The baby's birth comes almost 4 months after the tragic loss of their 19-month-old daughter, Emmy, who drowned in a neighbor's pool this summer. The couple has since worked to spread awareness about the importance of pool safety. Following the birth of the baby boy, the midwife shared this. While nothing will ever replace the feeling of aching arms to hold Emmy again, this baby provided something new this day: joy, inspiration, and hope. Tonight, Bode Miller's agent tells us Morgan and their little boy are doing great, and the family is overjoyed.
It's great to see today. Lindsay Davis with us now, and we know that the Millers want to start a national conversation about this issue of pool safety. And what's their message for families out there?
They really want to make sure that parents are well aware that drowning is a leading cause of death for children between the ages of 1 and 4. So in addition to making sure that parents are vigilant, they want to make sure that they're having these conversations with their pediatrician. And also they'd like to see improved pool technology, David.
Yeah, it was very heartbreaking, but we welcome and celebrate their new baby. Thanks, Lindsay. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Monday. The alarming medical mystery, growing concerns tonight. Several children in the same region all coming down with a rare polio-like illness. What's causing this, and what are public health officials now saying tonight? Also, the new headline this evening about Google Your Information and the security flaw the company reportedly waited 6 months before revealing. How Google is responding tonight. And the breaking headline coming in at this hour, word of an accident at a construction site. There are reports